My name is Nick Rudder. Welcome to my garage. On today's episode, I'm going to cover a host of different tips and techniques for detailing your vehicle, starting with the best vacuum attachments, along with several techniques for vacuuming up pet hair and other common debris and dirt in your vehicle. Plus, microfiber technology, how to use microfiber and what's behind it. And then brushes, tools, and other accessories, including bottles for detailing your vehicle. But first up, I have some pet hair to vacuum from the hatch on my Volkswagen. The first part of this episode are industry secrets, techniques, and tips for vacuuming your vehicle. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, there's really nothing too exciting about vacuuming. And you're right, but it has to get done. Frequent car care is easy car care. If you neglect to vacuum your vehicle, you'll be left with a pigsty with crumbs and hair and body oils and everything all over the place. So believe it or not, there are better options than what you find locally at your store in terms of vacuum cleaners and attachments. Now, this vehicle, which is my Volkswagen, it's filled with a variety of different interior materials. You have this specialized cargo area where it's a really low quality fabric. And then there's the back seats, which are a leather material. And then you have the floor liners, which are a vinyl. And then, of course, there's all the nooks and crannies with the dashboard and the air vents and the HVAC controls. And basically a lot of materials that if you just have a regular vacuum with one size fits all attachments, you really don't do that great of a job. Now, there's not a whole lot of glory in vacuuming your vehicle. However, once you see just how easy it is using the right attachments, you'll agree that it takes the guesswork and it also takes the laborious component out of vacuuming your vehicle. So it's actually quite simple. Now, the first technique I want to discuss is vacuuming the cargo area. And this technique is not just for the cargo area, but the entire part of the vehicle, including the leather seats. Now, when you're watching this, you see a buffer here. You might think, well, how does a buffer have anything to do with vacuuming my car? Well, the reason is simple. So this is a dual action polisher, also known as a random orbital polisher. And the way this works is it's for polishing paint. However, when you use it against your carpet or your leather and you turn the machine on, which this is not going to cause any harm, the vibrating action causes the dirt and debris to essentially dance on the surface. And that loosens it from the fibers. So if you've ever vacuumed before and you go back and forth over the same area multiple times and you don't really see any progress, using a buffer or something like a back massager, that works equally well also. So turn it on and you'll see all the dirt and sand particles will dance to the surface, and then you can vacuum them away. So it'll save you a ton of time versus using a brush. Next up, if you have pets, I have 2 mutts. I love my dogs. We transport them in my Volkswagen, and what happens when you transport your dogs in your vehicle is you're going to have dog hair. Dog hair forms a static charge to the fibers, and it can be very difficult to remove. So there's specialized pet hair brushes in the market that work extremely well. A traditional vacuum attachment is not designed to remove pet hair. What will happen is you'll just smear it around. Now, there's a technique to using this brush. You might also wonder, how come I have a glass or plastic cleaner on my detailing cart? This is designed to be used in conjunction with the pet hair brush. This is an off-label application. So what you do is on the vehicle where the pet hair is, which in this case it's in the back side of my rear seats, which is a carpeted material, you take the aerosol glass cleaner. It only works with an aerosol. It cannot be a regular pump spray. You spray it on the material, and that helps discharge the electrostatic bond of the pet hair. So when you use the pet hair attachment, it vacuums it up without any issues at all. So that's a technique that professional detailers have been using for years. Now you know the secret, because a detailer will charge you $100, $200, $300 for specialty cleaning services to remove pet hair. Working your way up to the front of the vehicle, for the leather seats, you can use a little brush, like a nylon bristle brush, to vacuum out the dirt and grime, the sand particles, and maybe you like everything bagels like my wife does, and you get all these little pebbles of salt and flavors all over the seats, and it gets in the nooks and crannies. So use the nylon brush to brush them out and then vacuum them up. And then for the dashboard and your air vents and your radio controls, your HVAC controls. There are other specialty attachments like these micro attachments. And the way these work is these guys are really small. When you look at this, compared to this big fella here, which is for getting in between the center console and the seat, this is not really safe or effective to vacuum up the dirt and debris from around your shifter and your radio control buttons and your air vents. Using something like this with specialized attachments here, really get in there to clean all the nooks and crevices. That's basically it for vacuuming your interior. I told you there are techniques and tips that make it a lot easier versus just using a big old attachment for a one-size-fits-all job. So with that being said, I have a lot of work ahead of me because the next segment involves specialty brushes and bottles and other components that'll make detailing your vehicle a lot easier. So time to get to work.